The red cow, the ultimate paradox, it purifies and defiles simultaneously. While it's defiling, it's purifying. And why it's purifying, it's defiling, doesn't seem to make any sense. Even Shlomo HaMelech could not figure out the red cow. We just don't know. Reminds me of a story. Now, all my stories are true, but some are about to happen. During the Middle Ages, the priests would always challenge Jewish people to debates on Talmud and Hebrew. And the Jew had to put up, the priest came to town with the Swiss guard from the Vatican, and the expert in Hebrew, and he wants a Jew to debate him. And if the Jews are not willing to debate with this priest, the entire town will suffer a pogrom. So the priest came, an expert in Hebrew, with the two Swiss guards, to debate. The Jews have to put someone up to debate, and if whoever loses the debate immediately gets beheaded. Immediately. The priest was so sure that he knows Hebrew excellent, the Jews were terrified. How are they going to debate this priest? The Hebrew's not so good, They spoke Yiddish, not Hebrew, right, Connie? But again, if they don't put up a debating partner, there's pogrom for the whole city. So no choice, nobody wants to volunteer. Muttel the tailor. Muttel the tailor, remember him? I'm just a poor tailor. He says, I'll go. Muttel Kamzoil, remember him? Yeah. So they said, Muttel, I mean, you hardly finished cheder. You hardly finished cheder. You're a shoemaker, you're a tailor. But no one else wants to go, so what they got to lose? I mean, no one else wants to go. He'll say, listen, if I lose, you'll say that what? I'm just a poor tailor. What do you got to lose? So the big day comes, the debate in the town square. There's the priest there with the two Swiss guards. Whoever loses and doesn't know an answer to a question, on the spot, he becomes a head shorter. So, Muttel the tailor, this priest from the Vatican, about to debate. People are watching. So the priest says, you dirty Jew, you go first. Ask me a question in Hebrew, and if I don't know, I lose my head, and if you don't know, you lose your head. Literally, on the spot. So Muttel the tailor says, oh great priest, what does ani lo yodeya mean? Ani lo yodeya. So the priest says, I don't know. Get it, Chaya? I don't know. And the Swiss guards are not too bright. Whoever says, I don't know, they're under instruction to what?
Off with their head.
So the priest literally lost his head. So the townspeople are beside themselves with joy. They pick up Muttel the tailor on their shoulders, right? And they bring him to the rabbi. And they said, Muttel, how are you so smart to ask such a question? He says, Rabbi, I'll tell you. When I was in the Cheder, I asked my Rebbe, what does ani lo yodeya mean? And the Rebbe says, I don't know. If the Rebbe doesn't know, this goy is going to know.
Oh, that's good, Rabbi.
Ani lo yodeya. Muttel the tailor. Okay. Where were we? The red cow. Please look at your, we don't know where we are. Please look at your sheet, side number 1. Death and its consolation. Side number 1. Somehow the red cow, today is show and tell.
Where did you get it?
The Messiah brought it.
He's here?
According to Chaim Kanievsky, he's here. You know that. Anyway, if you look at side number 1, somehow the red cow, not the mad cow, is consolation for death. Now, how is that? Take a look at side number 1, please. Side number 1. Now, we know the Rambam has 13 principles of faith that every loyal Jew must believe in. The last one is what? To believe in Tchiyat HaMeitim. Right? On Imam Emunah Shalema, there'll be a resurrection of the dead. That's the last of the An Imamins. So it must be Maddie the best, because, saving the best for last. That's why Jello comes at the end of the meal. Achron Chaviv. So of the 13 principles of faith, the last one is to believe in the coming of the Mashiach. And if you don't believe in that, you're not a loyal Jew. You have no share in the world to come. So if that's the believing in Mashiach is so important to Ikra Yahadut. Chanoch, last time I checked in the Sefer HaMitzvot, I didn't find belief in the Mashiach as what? As a mitzvah. If it's so important, if you don't believe in it, you're not a loyal Jew, you have no share in the world to come, shouldn't it be somewhere in the Sefer HaMitzvot? Believe in the Mashiach. The last time I checked, surely it's not there. So how could it be an Ikra of Judaism if it's not codified in one of the what? Taryag mitzvot. So the answer is that it is. You're in for a surprise today. The Shulchan Aruch Orachayim Siman Tov Reish Pei Hey says that to read Parshas Parah is a mitzvah min Torah. Now this Shabbos we read Parah Duma, but it's not Parshas Parah. Parshas Parah is read again when? Right before Pesach. So Shulchan Aruch claims that reading Parshas Parah is a mitzvah min Torah, which is very strange because the whole Kriyas HaTorah Chai is only what? The Rabbanan. There's no mitzvah min Torah to read from the Torah. The only exception is Parshas Amalek, Zachor, and Parshas Parah. So why is Parshas Parah mitzvah min Torah according to the Shulchan Aruch? I'm here to prove to you, if you stay with me, that somehow by reading Parshas Parah and understanding what we're about to say, somehow reinforces my belief in what? Tchiyat HaMesim. And therefore, Parshas Parah is a mitzvah from the Torah, because when you go through the sources, you'll see that by reading Parshas Parah, I am reaffirming my belief in what? In the resurrection of the dead, which is an Ikra Yahadut. So therefore, Parshas Parah is a mitzvah min Torah, because that's the mitzvah to believe in what? In the resurrection of the dead. The question is, how is Parshas Parah a reaffirmation of my belief in what? In the resurrection of the dead. So if you take a look at side number 1, what's the union of Tumah and Tahara? Side number 1, source number 3. See that the Rambam Hilchas Mikvaot, what's this idea of Tumah, right? Source number 3 on side 1, the Rambam Hilchas Mikvaot is Dova Borur, the Golush, Tumas, Vataharot, Gzeres B'nai Torah. Ve'im Midavorim Shadata Sha'odar Machato. Tumah and Tahara, there's really no rational reasons behind it. Ve'hein Mechlal HaChukim, in source number 3, it's a chok. Ve'chein Atvila Min HaTumah. Why do you have to go to a mikveh for? How come a shower won't do? Huh? It's a chok. She'ein ha-tumah tit otzoah. Tumah is not dirt or filth that you can wash away with water. Gzeres ha-kosov. V'adover tolu kavonas halev. The whole thing of tumah tahara depends on what? Kavonas halev. Lefikach amu chachamim taval v'loy huchzak yiloy taval. A lady goes to the mikveh and she thinks she's in a Jack LaLanne jacuzzi. And she comes out dripping wet. She's just as tummy as she went in, Moshe. But she's dripping wet. So the Rambam says, you go to the mikveh and you think you are in a jacuzzi. You don't have kavanah that you're doing it l'shem mitzvahs tefillah. Even though you're dripping wet, you're just as what? Tummy as what? As when you went in. Because the whole thing has to do with spiritual concept, kavanah salev. Kavanah salev.
So I go to a jacuzzi.
You go to a jacuzzi.
Does that work?
No. If you go to a jacuzzi, you think it's a mikvah? No, that doesn't work either. No. Right? And even if you have the right kavanah, but you're in the jacuzzi, it doesn't count. You have to be in a mikvah, and you have to have kavanah that you're in a mikvah, and you're doing it for tahara. Otherwise, even though you're dripping wet, the Rambam says you're just as tamei as what? As when you went in. So somehow, the red cow removes the stigma of tumah and death. And how does it do that? We're going to get to that. Okay? Very strange of the red cow. It's mitameh tatorim. It defiles those that are pure. At the same time, it purifies what? Those that are tameh. Very strange. Very strange. If you look at source number 6, Yehuda, you sprinkle red cow ashes. The guy getting spritzed, he becomes what? Tahor. The guy getting spritz becomes tahor. And the guy that's handling it, he becomes tameh. So look at source number 6. Shoyel goy echad, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. You hear what he says to him? It looks like voodoo. Maisek shofim. Black magic, woman. You're spritzing ashes. It purifies and defiles simultaneously. It looks like what? Shofim. Mazek shofim in Ivrit. Witchcraft. It must be witchcraft. But it's not witchcraft. What's it all about? And how does it reaffirm my belief in what? The resurrection of the dead. That's the $64 question that we're going to explain. Look at source number 7. Why is a dead body the worst type of tumah? See source number 7. Number 7. Zohar. Yisrael b'shatimis, when a Jew dies. You have Yehuda, source 7. Kol kiddushay demiri mesarbamine. All of the holy light goes away from him. Isaba b'nei tzlume kiddusha. When a person dies, his tzelem alehim leaves him. The Ruach HaKodesh leaves him. Ishtaya gufa masaba. What remains behind? An empty shell. Don't confuse me with my bodysuit. So source number 7, the Zohar tells us, why is a dead person called a halal in Hebrew? The English word hallow. See source number 7? A dead person is called in Hebrew a halal, which is the English word hollow. Sleepy Hollow? Why? The English word hollow, halal. Why is a dead person called hollow? Because he's hollow. The godly soul left. So inside, there's a tremendous hollow space. The greatest Kedusha is a living human being. And the greatest Tumah is a dead human being. Isn't that a paradox, Chanoch? No. We know nature abhors a vacuum. You take Physics 101, nature will not tolerate a vacuum. Since a living human being is the greatest Kedusha, because he has a godly soul. So, when the godly soul leaves, there's a tremendous vacuum, i.e. Lillian Halal, or we would say in English, hollow. Nature will not tolerate a vacuum. Where there was great Kiddusha, a tzelem alehim, a godly soul, now that it's gone, there's a tremendous hollow. So the forces of Tumah, what? Rush in. Forces of Tumah rush in. Where there's great Kiddusha, Chava, there's the forces of Tumah around, because there's a postik in Keheles, Zeh l'umat zeh osu alehim. Zeh l'umat zeh osu alehim. What does that mean? There's got to be this tension. Great Kiddusha, great Tumah, otherwise it's not a football game. There's got to be this constant tension. So since a living human being is the greatest Kiddusha, so when he dies, there's a tremendous halal left behind. So therefore what? The forces of Tumah rush in to fill the vacuum. So why is a dead human being the greatest Tumah? Because a living human being is what? The greatest Kiddusha. Zeh l'umat zeh osu alehim. It's a pasuk can tell. Why is death tameh? So why is death tameh? Because a dead person can't do chesed. There's a pasuk in Tilim that Judaism's olam chesed yiboneh. Judaism stands on the pillar of what? Chesed. If one is no longer able to do chesed because he's dead, that's tameh. If a person that doesn't do chesed, a selfish person, might as well be dead. Okay. So, the red cow, total mystery. Strange, right? We don't know what it's all about. If you turn over to side 2 on top, Masechta Para, Perigimel, there have been 9 red cows from Moshe Rabbeinu's time. Side number 2, Masechta Para, Perigimel. Teisha Parot Nasat, 9 red cows. Moshe made the first one, and the last one was prepared by Ezra Sofer. There have been 9. Harishona was Moshe, Then there was Ezra, and then from Ezra there was 7. And who will prepare the 10th one? Melech HaMashiach. Stay tuned. Number 10. I'm reading side number 2, Masechta Para Perek Gimel on top. Asirit, the last one, the 10th one, Yasa Melech HaMashiach. Okay, so we're waiting for Mashiach. So the red cow is the greatest mystery of all, right? We just don't know what's it all about, right? We have no idea. But Rashi, on side number 2, Rashi seems to explain that we do know what it's about. See what it says, Medvish Haggadah Hitakti? Medvish Haggadah, see that in Rashi? Rashi quotes a midrash that he will explain why a red cow. Pora Duma, Medvish Haggadah Hitakti, where I have the underlined in yellow, then the Rashi under that, Pora Duma, Moshel ben Shifcha Shetina Palton Shamelech. Why a red cow? Says Rashi, a maidservant went to clean the palace of the king, and she couldn't find a babysitter. So she took her little baby with her, but she forgot the Pampers. And the baby had diarrhea. And made doo-doo all over the king's palace. She couldn't find a babysitter that day, called in sick, and she forgot the Pampers, Shelley. Made doo-doo. So what do the other servants say? Let the mother come and clean up the doo-doo of her baby. The Chet HaEgel. The baby. A calf is a baby. The mother is a cow. So the Egel, the calf, made doo-doo, defiled us, right? Let the mother... Let the mother come and clean up the filth of the baby calf. Elsie the cow is the mother of what? Of the baby calf. Get it? Why red? So we sin through the Egel, let the mama come and clean up the mess. Somehow, the Pora Duma, the Egel brought death to the Jewish people. Remember, we said Nasa v'nishma, we went back to Adam, back to the future. We went back to Adam Kodam Achet. Death was banished to the Jewish camp. When we sinned with the Egel, death came back. We brought death back. When we said Nasa v'nishma, we went to Adam Kodam Achet, back to the future. Sinned with the Egel, death was decreed again. Now, how do you remove the stigma of death? What's a consolation of death? Somehow the red cow will remove the stigma of death, and we'll show how. Okay? So, why red? So Rashi says, why red? There's a pasuk in Isaiah that what? That sin is symbolized by what? Red. Because when you sin, you forfeit your blood. Your life. What's the symbol of life? Blood. The color of blood is red, right? So Rashi is saying over here that the Egel, the red cow, is a tikkun for what? For the Chet HaEgel. It's a tikkun for the Chet HaEgel, and it's also because the Egel brought death back to the Jewish camp after we said Nasa v'nishma, death was banished. So for 40 days, nobody died. 40 days after we said Nasa v'nishma, was Shivasa B'Tammuz, which is coming up. And then we sinned with the Egel, so we need a tikkun for the Egel. Somehow the red cow is a tikkun and an antidote for death.
Oh, that's good.
The question is how? Now, in the red cow, it's a strange ceremony. You're supposed to take Mayim Chayim. You take the red cow, Elsie, and you burn her and you turn her into ashes. And you take the ashes, Connie, and you mix it with Mayim Chayim. Did you ever meet dead water?
Yes, stagnant water.
Mayim Chayim, very strange. It's living water.
Running water.
No, don't. I'm a text man. The Hebrew says Mayim Chayim. This week's Parsha. Living water. I never met dead water. Maddie, did you? I'm a text man. I don't go with an art scroll. It says Mayim Chayim. Take the ashes of the red cow, burn the red cow, take the ashes and mix it with what? With living water. I never met dead water. Says the holy Nachmanides. Please hear me well. Water is a symbol of life. The fetus is contained in water. Mayim Chayim. Life is symbolized by water. You take the red cow and you turn it into ashes. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Ashes is a symbol of what? Death. What Kabbalistically, the Holy Ramban. It's not voodoo, God forbid. No, buddy. Conception, birth, fetus is contained in Mayim Chayim. Death, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. So the red cow is burned up and turned into what? Ashes. In the belly of the burning beast, you're supposed to throw Sheni Toilat. A thread dyed with the blood of a caterpillar.
Oh, that's right.
Now it sounds like voodoo, but it's not. Please hear me well. In the belly of the burning beast, you shech the beast, you burn it, from the great heat, the belly what? Bursts. And the Kohen is supposed to throw in Sheni Toilat, a thread dyed with the blood of a caterpillar. And then, when the ashes, it's all burned up, you collect the ashes and you mix it with what? With Mayim Chayim. So what's it all about? Says the great Nachmanides. And then you're supposed to take this mixture and spritz it on a guy that told me with azov. What does azov mean? Grass, not the type you smoke. You take a bundle of grass and you spritz it. And all of a sudden, I'm what? Pure. What's it all about? Says the great Nachmanides, something incredible. Again, ashes is a symbol of death. Mayim is a symbol of what? Chayim. Therefore, it's called Mayim Chayim. Toilat. There's a pasuk in Isaiah 51. God says, Al tiri toilat Yaakov. Don't be afraid, you caterpillar, Jacob. Mitei Yisrael, those that are dead in Israel, Ani azartich, I, God, will save you. Why is the Jewish people called a caterpillar? Russian bear, the American eagle, caterpillar? Isaiah 41 calls the Jewish people Talat. King David in Psalm 22 also calls the Jewish people what? You caterpillar, you. What's it all about? Says the great Rabbeinu Bachai, and the Ramban. If you want the secret of, you think resurrection of the dead is too weird? Look at the toilat, which is a caterpillar, crawls into a cocoon, which is actually a tomb. What happens to the caterpillar? He decomposes, and out comes a butterfly. That's only a dugma. How do you say that in English? Dugma. Example of what? Of Chiyat HaMesim. Death is not final. You don't believe me? Look at the caterpillar, the cocoon, which is actually a grave, and the caterpillar metamorphoses into a butterfly. That's a dugma for Chiyat HaMesim. Ruben, are you with me on this?
What's the difference?
1 minute.
What's the difference between the caterpillar and the grasshopper?
I don't know, but I'm talking about the caterpillar now. The caterpillar, the cocoon, and the butterfly. That's why the Jewish people in Isaiah 41 and in Tehillim 22 are called not a Russian bear or a mighty Roman eagle or American with eagle, when eagles fly. No, we're called Talas, says the great Kabbalist Nachmanides and Rabbeinu Bachai, because that's the secret of Chiyat HaMesim. Right. If God will do it to a butterfly, do it to us too. Death is not final. It looks like it's final. So somehow, by studying the parsha of what? Of Poraduma, it reinforces my belief in what? In the Iker of Yahadut, which is Tchiyat HaMeitim. So you have Afar, death. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. The red cow becomes ashes. It's mixed with Mayim Chayim, not dead water. Because Mayim is the symbol of what? Life. And then you put in the toilat, the caterpillar. That's a symbol of the revival of the dead, that death is not final. And then you spritz him with grass. Why do you spritz him? Not the type that you smoke. There's a pasuk in Tehillim 72. The dead shall sprout like grass of the earth. Therefore, the Poraduma ceremony, Ruvain, also includes what? Grass. Because Tehillim 72 tells us the dead will sprout like grass of the earth. So everything in the red cow is supposed to reinforce my belief in what? Tchiyat HaMeitim, which is Ikav Yahadut. Now we understand why the Shulchan Aruch says that reading Parshas Parah, which is not this week, but read it again before Pesach, is a mitzvah min HaTorah. Right. Because belief in Tchiyat HaMeitim is the Iker of Judaism. So that reading of Parshas Parah right before Pesach, when the revival, why do you read it right before Pesach? Because the revival of the dead is supposed to happen when? Pesach time! Hello? Rabbeinu Sadia Gaon said revival of the dead is going to happen Pesach time. So it's appropriate to read Parshas Parah right before Pesach. Ready or not, here I come to get us ready for Tchiyat HaMeisim. So, and therefore, there's halacha in the Shulchan Aruch Yeridei Shin Ayin Vav that when a person goes to a cemetery, he's supposed to take a handful of dirt. He's supposed to tear some grass, and then he's supposed to wash his hands. Why does he do that? Says Nachmanides, we are reenacting the ceremony of the red cow. Death looks like it's final. You think my friend is 6 feet under. That's what it looks like. But no. We take a handful of dirt. That's the ashes of the red cow. Wow. The body turns into dirt. Yes, the body turns into ashes and dirt. But you take some grass and put it on the grave. Why do you do that? Shulchan Aruch Yeridei Shin Ayin Vav. Because you are reaffirming your belief in Tehillim 72 that the dead will sprout like grass.
Wow, wow, wow.
And then you wash your hands, that's symbol of Mayim Chayim. That death is not final. The body turns into dirt and ashes, but it's not the end of the story. The dead will sprout like grass. Tehillim 72, King David said it. And the caterpillar service in the red cow, again, that's the symbol of what? Of Tchiyat HaMeisim, that death is not final. Just like the caterpillar doesn't die, it looks like he dies. He's in the cocoon, the womb, the grave. And therefore what? Out comes a butterfly. So when the time comes, the dead will rise out of the grave like a cocoon, like a butterfly out of the cocoon. So therefore the Jewish people are described by Isaiah and King David as what? Caterpillar. Because this reinforces my belief in Tchiyas HaMeisim. It's built into nature. When I went to Science 101, my teacher said that the cocoon is a grave. Gee. The body decomposes. So does the caterpillar. But when the time comes, the dead will rise out of the grave like a butterfly out of the cocoon.
Better than that.
So by learning the parsha of Poraduma, say you can't do it. So by studying it, we are reaffirming our belief in Tchiyat HaMeisim.
Wow, wow.
So therefore, reading Parshas Porah before Pesach is what? A mitzvah min Torah. Because it's ani mam emuna shalema b'tchiyat hametim. That's what the death is not final. So the red cow, Rav Soloveitchik explains, when you come in contact with a dead person, you become tamei, you become depressed. That's a human being. What am I living for? I'm going to be a decaying dead body eaten by the worms? That depression causes tumah. The red cow removes the tumah by reminding me that death is not final. It's not the end of the story. By getting spritzed with the red cow ashes, it removes the stigma, the depression of death. That death is only temporary. You don't believe me? Look at the talat, the cocoon, and the butterfly. Now, the body that God will give the dead person, will it look like the old body? It'll look like the butterfly compared to the caterpillar.
That's a good thing.
Can you compare? No way, Jose. That's how the new body will be compared to the old body. Do you see, Chava, that Tchiyat HaMesim is built into the what? In the system. Study the talat and the butterfly. That's the secret of Tchiyat HaMeitim. Wow. We're used to it, right? You take Science 101, yes?
Yeah.
Rabbi Sprecher, it's kind of
I think Shoshana had a question first.
That's what I wanted to ask. Will it be equivalent to the butterfly and the caterpillar when there is this written about the
Rabbeinu Bachai, the great Kabbalist, says, just like you can't recognize the butterfly from the caterpillar, wow. So the reconstituted body will be more beautiful than the old body, like the butterfly to what?
Yeah.
To the caterpillars. So the dead will have to wear a name tag.
Oh, that's good.
Name tag.
And a picture of what you just...
What do you look? Before and after?
Oh, no, no. It's like
Before and after.
Hopefully we'll recognize.
Caterpillar, butterfly.
I love it.
It's built into nature.
Good.
Right? Yingli, it's built into nature. You look around, you see.
Yeah.
Everything in the physical world is supposed to remind me of spiritual truth. Everything in the physical, starry, starry night. Da 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 da. Reminds me of the big boss. Everything in the physical world are props to remind me of spiritual truth and spiritual values. If I'm looking with the proper hashkafa, yes?
I want to know the Kohen, or whatever it is.
The Sprecher, the Kohen.
The Spitzer of the end.
The Spritzer, go ahead.
becomes Tameh.
Oh, Rivka, you must have ESP. Please look.
The last
Does the Spritzer become Tameh?
Spitzer, who, but that has it.
Oh, Rivka, you must have ESP. Side number 2. I'll wait. It's in English. It's in English. Side number 2. The middle paragraph. It's in English.
Good thing.
I'll wait. You see that?
Not yet.
Why? It's easy.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The one who throws, Rivka, the one who throws the water and ashes, he remains pure.
Yeah.
No, it's a good thing you came today.
Pure.
Isn't it good, Rabbi Yaakov, that you came today? I'm reading side number 2, the middle paragraph in English. It says, Nechama, it's in English, the one who throws the water and the ashes, he remains pure. Because verse 18, Rivka tells us that what? That what? That even after sprinkling the water on the tent, the Kohen continues to sprinkle the ash and water on kalim, items, people. But if he was already tamei as soon as he gave the first spritz, he would not be able to what? Go on spritzing. So everybody involved with the paraduma becomes tamei except the spritzer and the spritzee.
So who becomes
Everybody involved with the paraduma, Lillian, becomes tamei except The spritzer and the spritzy.
So who's everybody else?
And not tummy. Everybody else. But that's the ultimate paradox. Stay tuned. Yes?
The ones that make the mixture, they're the ones who become tamei.
Yes, the one who carries the mixture, who makes the mixture, who burns the red cow. Who burns the red cow. They all become tamei. She don't want to get burned. But the spritzer remains pure. Otherwise, how could he continue to what? Go on spritzing. He got a lot of people to get spritzed. Hundreds of people are waiting. Spritz, spritz, spritz. Kalim too. That's right. A person dies in a house, and everything in the house, the furniture, and the toaster oven, and everything there all becomes tamei. Tumas ohel. So you got to spritz the furniture. Spritz the furniture.
Like Herbie, Oliver Shaw, who died in the house.
Right. But today we ain't got no red cow ashes. So we're tamei anyway today. Therefore, it's very problematic. Go up to the Temple Mount. Oh, because mikveh doesn't help. You need red cow ashes. Yeah. Some people say, don't confuse me with the facts. But mikveh doesn't help because you need red cow ashes. Yes.
Another wonderful share like yours.
Right. More wonderful than this one.
I said as wonderful.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Okay.
And Rabbi Soloveitchik said.
Go ahead.
That you do not have to wash your hands when coming from the cemetery because we're all tumat men.
My dear Lady Rivka.
Yes.
Oh, I mentioned that.
No.
Shh.
You have to wash your hands.
1 minute.
You know, but he said that you mixed her.
Shulchan Aruch Yeredeya Shinai and Vav says that you should wash your hands, even though it doesn't do anything. Because what? Mikveh doesn't help. Even mikveh doesn't help. But you're so the Ramban explains why. It's you are symbolizing Mayim Chayim. Of course the washing doesn't help nothing. Even a mikveh doesn't help without red cow ashes. But the Ramban explains, Api Kabbalah, that when you leave a cemetery, you're depressed. It looks like life is over. So you take Mayim Chayim, the symbol that the dead will live again. Rivka, please hear me. Please hear me. It's not for Tahara. It's Kabbalistic symbolism. But people make a mistake. Good thing you came today. Death, you leave a cemetery, you're depressed. You think it's over. No, you put grass. There's a pasuk in Tehillim 72, V'yitzutzu ke'esef ha'oretz. The dead will sprout like grass. You put grass on the grave, and then you wash your hands, even though it doesn't help anything, but it helps psychologically. Mayim is a symbol of what? Chayim. It ain't over till it's over. It's psychological lift. Playing out the Poraduma ceremony. Versteh? Yeah?
A lot of people go to the mikveh for various reasons.
Right. Mikveh helps for Tumas Keri and Tumas Nida, but it cannot help for Tumas Mace.
In other words, Tumas space, you all still have.
Right. You can dunk 900 times. Mikveh only removes Tumas Keri, Tumas Sheretz, and Tumas Nida. But it does not remove Tumas Mace. We're all Tuma Mace. We all came in contact in the same roof, in the same hospital with a dead body. You're Tuma. So, therefore, going on the Har HaBayis is very problematic. Because you go to the mikveh, it gets rid of the Tumas Keri, Tumas Nida, Tumas Sheretz, but it does not remove Tumas Mace. So some people say, don't confuse me with the facts. Nebuch, my mind's made up. It's Chayev Karet. Going on Temple Mount without red cow ashes, Chayev Karet. Some people claim they hug the wall. They walk. Okay, if you hug the wall, fine. Then mikveh does help. If you don't get too close to the... Then mikveh helps certain areas in the Har HaBayis. If you stay close to the wall, away from the center there mikveh helps, because there Tumas Keri, Tumas Nida, Tumas Sheretz has to be moved. But if you walk one step beyond, who knows where that magic line is? Right. You walk one step beyond, you're in the Azara already, what used to be the Azara, there mikveh is useless. Right. There you need red cow ashes. So people claim they know where the magic line is. You want to play Russian roulette with your eternity?
Yeah.
How do you know from 2,000 years ago where the Azora used to be? And their mikvah is useless. So they claim they hang back. Halavai, they're right. But where's the magic line? No man's land, Chava. You step one step beyond. Mikvah is useless. You need red cow ashes. How do you know? Why do you want to play Russian roulette with your eternity? Going up there without red cow ashes like eating on Yom Kippur. It's chayiv karet.
So you hold that nobody should.
What am I hold? This is what I hold. This is how you want to play Russian roulette with your eternity? I don't know.
Rabbi, how long are you purified after a mikvah? How long does it last?
Not for tumas meis, to remove tumas nida, family purity, to remove tumas keri and nocturnal emissions until the next time, where a person till next time it happens. You know, a woman has a period. A woman has a period. The man has a nocturnal emission or touches a dead rat again. That needs a mikveh again. But tumas meis, mikveh is useless, and you can't walk in the temple courtyard with tumas meis. So people claim that they know the magic line. But they claim that. Halavai, they're right. Because otherwise they're chayiv karet, which is the same punishment as eating on Yom Kippur. I'm out to lunch. Please tell them I'm out to lunch. Yes, what? What? So where was I? Yes? I'm not finished yet. What?
When you go to the graves today, there's no grass.
There's no grass.
So
okay.
What we do is we wash our hands when we leave the cemetery.
That's right.
And we put stones on them.
So, I'm glad Masha came today. Ooh, Masha's cooking with gas. There's also a minhag to put a rock on the grave. I am a rock.
Is that because we can't get grass?
No. There's a pasuk in Devarim 32, Hatzur Tamim Pa'olo. God calls himself the rock. Deuteronomy 32. And then Isaiah picks up on that. But it's Devarim 32, Hatzur Tamim Pa'olo. The rock, his work is perfect. Why is God calling himself a rock? Lean on me when you're not strong. The rock is a symbol of what, Moshe? Strength, permanence. So God calls himself a rock. You know why you put a rock on a grave, Lillian? You think my beloved is 6 feet under. That's just his bodysuit. He's with the rock.
That's it.
He's with the rock. It's a nechama. Nechama. It's a nechama, nechama. It's a comfort. That's not my relative 6 feet under. That's his bodysuit. He's with the rock. Helps me focus. God calls himself the rock. So by putting a gravestone and a rock, it reinforces my belief that my beloved friend or relative is with the rock. And that's what God calls himself, the rock. And the grass is there because Tehillim 72 says the dead will sprout from the earth like grass. So again, it reinforces my belief that death is not final. It's only a temporary stage, as the cocoon and the butterfly and the caterpillar. See, human beings need props, tangible symbols to help me focus.
Yes, continuously.
Right? I need the focus, the props, the symbols. Otherwise, I get lost.
Yeah. That's right.
Rabbi,
Helps me focus.
if we were ever in the presence of a dead body,
Go ahead.
we could never be purified until there's a red cow.
I just said that. Thank you.
No, but you're saying that now? That's now?
What now?
Yes, yes.
You ain't got no red kashes.
You were with
We ain't got-
body 20 years ago. You could never get purified.
Even 100 years later, until the person does not get spritzed with the red cow ashes, even 100 years later, he's still tamei. The tumah cannot be removed until he spritz with the red cow ashes. Today we don't have it, but we have something next best. Best, what's the word, next best? Studying it. Studying it.
Okay.
Right? I can't get spritzed, so I'm tamei, but it helps the stigma of death. By studying the Parsha of the red cow carefully, it reinforces my belief in Tchiyat HaMeisim.
Yeah.
When Mashiach comes, right? We just said on side number 2 that the Melech HaMashiach, he is going to what? Offer the 10th red cow.
That's right.
To remove the stigma of death. And then with Tchiyat HaMeisim, you won't need the red cow anymore.
Right.
He'll retire. Because if you... Bila HaMoves Lanetzach, there's a pasuk in Isaiah that God will swallow up death forever after Mashiach comes. So you won't need the red cow anymore. But when Mashiach comes, we're all going to be Tumah Meis, so we'll have to do number 10. But after that, it won't be necessary. Why? If people won't die, Tchiyas HaMeisim, the red cow will be put out to pasture. Ha-ha, Sharana? Put out to pasture. Get it? Put out to pasture. Okay? Pretty interesting. So anyway, so that's why there's halacha to do these things when you leave a cemetery, to wash your hands. Rivka pointed out that it doesn't help anything, the washing, because even a mikveh doesn't help, but it helps psychologically, because mayim is the symbol of what? Of life. That death is not final. The dead will live again, mayim chayim, right? And the ashes, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, but that's just a temporary stage. Meanwhile, the neshama is waiting with the rock.
Yes.
Hatzur, Tamim Pa'olo, right? God calls himself the rock. Kichol derachav mishpat. All of his ways are what? Mishpat. What does mishpat mean? Justice, right? Hatzur. So, you know, a piece of the rock, they got everything from us. Chaya. Remember that commercial, Prudential Life Insurance? Get a piece of the rock. They stole that from Devarim 32, Sharona. I'm telling you, it must have been a Jewish ad agency guy. Get a piece of the rock. We're all a piece of the rock. We're all at Tselem Elohim. Chelik Elahai Mimao. Moshe. Well, literally, we're a piece of the rock. Right? Chelik Elahai. It's a pasuk in Job 31. Chelik Elahai Mimao. Every Jewish soul is literally a piece of the rock.
Yeah.
Job 31. Chelik Elahai Mimao. A portion of God from above, right? So the piece of the rock, so the rock reminds us the gravestone is a rock. And the rock reminds us that our beloved is what? With the rock.
Rock in her mouth.
That's good.
That's a great nechama,
I
nechama.
like that.
Yes.
That's good.
Right? So this week is Parshas Chukas, so when we read the Torah, we'll have it in mind. So the Parah Duma, right? The tikkun for the Chet HaEgel. The Egel brought death and the depression of death. And the Parah Duma reminds us that death is only temporary. It's not final. Stages.
That's it.
We keep moving.
Yeah.
We keep moving, huh?
Yes.
It's just incredible. I don't want to scare you.
Yeah. The best is yet to come.
A womb, in the Talmudic language, a woman's rechem, womb, Tractate Nida, page 17, calls a woman's womb a kever.
A grave.
You know that? Isn't that bizarre?
A grave.
Shelley, isn't that bizarre? Tractate Nida refers to a woman's womb as a kever.
To me, it's like it's not good.
Hello?
To me, it's like the cocoon.
Beautiful. You nechama. You know what she's saying? That's a great nechama. The person, 9 months, right? Where is he? The fetus. It's dark, it's dank, it's cold. He is like in a kever. And then he emerges from the kever, the womb. The fetus inside the womb, isn't it like a grave for him? Let's get real. Come on. He can't move.
He's
He's restricted. It's dark there. He's restricted. But don't mix me up. Therefore, the Talmud calls a woman's womb a kever. Tractate Nida, it's amazing. That's a great nechama.
Because out of it comes.
The fetus emerges from a kever, i.e. a womb. After 120 years, it's put back in the kever, but it's not the end of the story. Moving on, moving on. You come from a kever, right? 120 years, a person's put back in a kever, but he continues to be. The death of the body is the birth of the soul. I'm a soul man. Amazing. The Talmud is so precise. It's not a put down. It's a nechama. Right? So, come from a kever, put in a kever, but it's not over. The neshama continues to progress. And the Zohar says something incredible. Please hear me well. Give me a few minutes. The fetus emerges from what? From the womb, right? Into a world of light. You couldn't imagine, right? And is hugged by what? By mommy. After 120 years. When the body's put back in a kever, it emerges in a world of tremendous light, which you couldn't compare. Just like the fetus has no concept of the beautiful light and the warmth of this world. So 120 years later, when the person's put back in the kever, he emerges on the other side in a world of tremendous, much more light. And who's waiting to hug him? The Shekhinah, his mommy. You hear the Zohar HaKadosh? Everything in the physical world is just a dugma of what's waiting for us on the other side. The baby emerges into a world from darkness to light, right? And then the mother hugs him. So after 120 years, says the Zohar, we emerge from darkness, from the kever, to a world of light, and being hugged by the Shekhinah. Therefore, the Shekhinah is feminine. Mommy. The Shekhinah. Huggy. Hugged by the one above. Everything in the physical world is only there to remind me of a spiritual truth, of a spiritual value. Everything. Thank you very much. We have a class on Thursday. Thursday at 2, current events in the Haftorah. Thursday at 2. Thank you.